Live from the Hexabyss News Network Studios, here's your breaking news. Welcome back to another segment of Gaming News. Today we're going to change it up just a little bit and provide some news up front, and then do a spotlight on some upcoming RPG games for 2021. Let's get started. TheVerge.com reports Plex is launching a game subscription service filled with Atari games. Plex, well known as a service for streaming movies, music, and TV on your own computer, is now adding another thing you can stream: video games via protocol. Plex announced this new service called Plex Arcade on its blog and also launched a website for it. The service will cost $3 a month if you're a Plex subscriber, and $5 a month if you're not. Instead of focusing on modern console or phone games like competitors, Plex lets you play Atari games. It's taken the arcade name seriously, as you can play the arcade classics from Atari like Centipede, Super Breakout, and Missile Command, as well as games from the Atari 2600 and 7800 series. Overall, there's 27 games available on the service. Next up, TheVerge.com reports Xbox Game Pass subscribers hit 18 million. Microsoft has continued to attract people to its Xbox Game Pass service. The Netflix for video game service is now at 18 million subscribers, up from the 15 million previously reported in September. Xbox Game Pass is a subscription service that offers access to a growing selection of more than 100 Xbox games for $9.99 a month. Microsoft has been pushing Xbox Game Pass for more than a year now, and it's clear the company is heavily invested in its future. Bungie, Destiny 2's title appeared on Xbox Game Pass late last year. And Control is also available on the service for both Xbox and PC. Microsoft also appears to be focused on studio acquisitions to bolster its content available on Xbox Game Pass. Microsoft ZeniMax Media Acquisition, the parent company of Doom and Fallout from Bethesda Softworks, is a big deal that will boost Xbox Game Pass in the future. Moving on, PCGamer.com reports Cyberpunk 2077 adds official modding support. Cyberpunk 2077 mods have been popping up almost every day since the game itself has released on December 10th. And now things might get a bit easier for those busy modders. The first official modding support tool for Cyberpunk 2077 have now arrived. This is promising news. It's been a question for a while if modding would be officially supported post-launch by CD Projekt Red. If you recall, back in 2019, CD Projekt Global Community-led Marcin Mobot said, quoting, "Obviously we would love to support the modding community in the future, but for the time being, we want to focus on releasing the game first." Oh, we see how that turned out. The game is out, and due to its buggy nature, it could definitely use the benefit of more mods. What's available now on the official modding support page doesn't sound like a whole lot, at least when you compare this to the Witcher 3's official mod kit. But it is a start. Hopefully we'll see more of this soon. In other news, GameInformer.com reports the top upcoming RPGs for 2021 and beyond. Role-playing games have come a long way since we've been slaughtering slimes in Dragon Warrior, hunting for a rat trail in Final Fantasy, and being instantly wiped and wandering into the wrong tile of the Bard's Tale. While the genre umbrella is now quite a bit wider than ever before, more and more games over the last decade have embraced the progression system. Character classes and jobs, choice and consequence. RPG experiences have never been available in so many forms in the past. So we're going to start this thing off with Baldur's Gate 3. Bringing back a series like Baldur's Gate is no easy task, but if anyone's up to the challenge, it's definitely Lorne Studios. After ushering in the CRPG renaissance with Divinity: Original Sin and Divinity: Original Sin 2, Lorne is ready to tackle one of the biggest RPG franchises of all time. Lorne's pivot to crowdfunding ventures and utilizing early access to fine-tune their games has unleashed a titanic force of games full of fantastical choices. Why battle an enemy when you could just fling them off the cliff? Talk to animals, blow everything up. Load a barrel full of bricks and fling it at your enemies with your mind. Steel Cheese. The modern-day CRPG is all about forging your own path from a smorgasbord of skills. Next up is the game Bravely Default 2. The team that brought you games like Bravely Default games and Octopath Traveler is back with another modern, yet old-school JRPG. With tons of monsters to fight, deadly bosses to battle, and classes to unlock and master, the Bravely Default Games channel is a spirit of the past with plenty of today's trappings. We have come quite far from the days of selecting fight, run, attack, and the systems of Bravely Default 2 allow you to strategically capitalize with defense and offense across a wide variety of archetypes. Of course, much more fun comes in mixing and matching class skills to create potent combinations and synergies as you unlock new options and stack passive bonuses. Next up, here is a title that I'm sure everyone kind of expected to see on this list, Final Fantasy XVI. From what I can see, it looks like we're in for an action RPG this time around instead of the turn-based fare, which is how the mainline series has been heading for quite a while. There's a clear focus on summons, fan favorites that we just can't get enough of ever, since we watched the Knights of the Round play out every time in Final Fantasy VII. There seems to be some notions of warring nations, friendships, and betrayals all mixed in there. So basically, yeah, it's a Final Fantasy game, alright. There's no current release date yet for Final Fantasy XVI, but we do expect to play more about it this year. And here's the last game on the list, Monster Hunter Rise. Monster Hunter Rise brings the franchise back to Nintendo with a burst of iteration on the New Age Monster Hunter design. No more load times, multiple monsters in each area, and a wire bug grappling hook for unparalleled traversal and combat options are all part of the equation as we head towards a March 26th release. As always, you're tasked with crafting powerful sets of gear from monster parts. Take it on tougher and tougher foes as you progress through the game, hopefully keeping the creatures away from civilization. A recent demo let players take on two different monsters. One is more of an intro monster that you can pretty much button mash through. The second is a bruiser with a heavy bevel of bubbles, which is a much more challenging affair. Combat comes with a wide variety of nuance with the wire bug and even allows counterattacks and other fun abilities. And that's it. If you like this content, please subscribe and press that thumbs up button. This is Hexabits with Hexabits Gaming, signing out.